This lesson is on finding the mean absolute deviation for our data. So go ahead and get your notes set up. We want to add our learning target here in the middle, find and interpret the mean absolute deviation for a data set, and then our I can statement. When you're ready, go ahead to the next part, and Mrs. King will get you started.
So the last lesson we used the IQR to describe the spread of the data. Today we're going to take it one step further and we're going to describe the distance away from the mean, which is called mean absolute deviation, or known as MAD. It's taking us back to the absolute value. The last time we distance away from 0 was in our integer unit, so we need to remember that the absolute value is the distance between a number and 0 on a number line. And it's going to relate to mean absolute deviation, which is the average distance between each data value and the mean or the average.
So think of it as we're going to calculate the mean, and then we're going to go back and look at each number and see how far it was away from that mean.
So exciting. All right, we start by putting our numbers in order. In the first example, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, and 11. They show you how to find the mean. It totals 56. 56 divided by 8 gives us an average mean of 7. Step 2, what you're going to do is you're going to take that 7 and you're going to find the distance from each data point away from 7. For instance, 7 minus 3 is 4, so there's 4 away from...
Oops.
What you doing? 7 minus 3, loop to 3, 4. Then you're going to do 7 to 4 is 3 away, 7 to 5 is 2, 7 to 6 is 1, and on the other side, 7 to 8 is 1, 7 to 9 is 2, 7 to 10 is 3, and 7 to 4 is 11. You're then going to add up those numbers, the distance, which is 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, keep up, divided by 8, which is going to give you 2.5. So the MAD, or the mean absolute deviation, is 2.5. Then they're going to ask you to write a sentence telling what that 2.5 represents, and you would write, this means the data values are an average distance of 2.5, go back to the title, hours from the mean. Example 2. Step 1, put your data in order. So we got 64, 88, 91, 91, 94, and 100. This time we have 6 data points, so you're going to divide by 6, which is 528 divided by 6 gives us an average of 88. 88 becomes our mean to find the distance from each data point. So we take 64. 64 is 24 away from 88. You can't forget to do 88, which is 0 away from itself. 91 is 3. And then you have another 3. And you have 6. And 88 to 100 is 12. You're going to add those numbers up, those blue numbers. 3 plus 3 plus 6 plus 12 plus 24 plus 0, and get 48. Divided by 6. Which is going to give you a mean absolute deviation of 8. It does ask you in the directions to describe what the mean absolute deviation represents, so you would write a sentence. The average distance between each score from the mean is 8 points.
All right, so let's see one more. First step is write the numbers in order, and then we're going to find the mean for the set of data. So I have 9, 12, 16, 19, 24, 27, and 33. I'm going to go ahead and add them all up. There are 7 numbers total, so I'm going to divide by 7. Mrs. King can help me out. What do I get when I add them all up?
140.
140 divided by 7 terms gives me a mean of 20. So my average score is 20. And now I need to just figure out how far is each one of my data values away from 20. So to get to 19, that's 1. To get to 16, that's 4.
It's May, what can I say?
I'll get it. Here's 4. To 12, that's 8. To 9, that's 11. Up to 24, that's 4, 7, and 13. So you're just finding the distance each of your data values is away from your mean. Now, to calculate the mean absolute deviation, we're going to add these together. 11 plus 8 plus 4 plus 1 plus 4 plus 7 plus 13.
Yeah, 48.
48. There are 7 numbers total, so we're going to divide by 7. It's not going to divide out nicely, but we're going to get 6.857 blah, 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 blah. So the answer says round to the nearest hundredth. So we're going to round it to 6.86 for our mean absolute deviation. It means each one of our numbers averages a distance of 6.86 away from our mean, which is 20. And then Mrs. King is going to talk about how do we describe what that means to us.
You're just going to put it in a sentence using your 6.86 and say the average distance away from the mean is 6.86 magazines sold. All right, you have, what are you doing? 2 more examples to try on your own. Number of computer games sold will be exactly like we just walked through. And then number of minutes, you have kind of a 2-in-1 problem. What they ask you to do in your notes is to compute week 1 and compute week 2, and then they say write a few sentences comparing their variation. So which one had the higher absolute mean, which one had the lower, or which one was closer spread in your data.